Parents, you go out of your way to keep your kids out of harm's way. Double check the car seat, child-proof power outlets, and put safety covers over the pool. We talk about all those things, but there's one thing we aren't talking about: gun safety.
Statistics have been showing for a period of time that gun injuries are a leading cause of death in our youth in Polk County, and we began having conversations with our healthcare partners and other community organizations about how we can intervene and really start to slow and then potentially reverse this trend.
For this reason, the Polk County Health Department, Board of Supervisors, Unity Point Health Des Moines, and Mercy One Des Moines have teamed up to create the Talk It Up, Lock It Up Gun Safety Initiative.
We think it's important to talk about gun safety. We're going to do whatever we can to make sure that people understand, parents understand, schools understand. It's important to talk about gun safety wherever you go and whatever you do.
While law enforcement and healthcare workers can't pinpoint one singular reason gun-related incidents are the second leading cause of death in Polk County, it is believed that post-pandemic depression and the growing number of easily accessible firearms are among the reasons emergency rooms are seeing an increase of gun incidents in our community.
We are seeing, first of all, an increase in the number of injuries from children and teenagers, and the increase in the number of deaths. But we're also seeing an increase in the severity of the gunshot wounds.
So, what can be done to minimize the risk of gun-related injuries and deaths? Healthcare workers say it starts with a simple conversation.
It's incredibly frustrating. I think as a pediatrician, we are so accustomed to the majority of children running around healthy, playing, growing up, and having little miracles happen every day in our families' lives. And to see that brought to a screeching halt by something that could have been prevented, to be the one talking to the parents and explaining that despite our best efforts, we were unable to save their child. It's a horrible experience for them, but it's also gut-wrenching for us.
It's a simple preventative step parents and caregivers can take. The alternative is instead a conversation that loved ones of victims of gun-related injuries do not want to have in the emergency room.
What I would recommend to parents and any caregiver for children is to talk to the people that are around their children. So talking to their friends' parents, talking to their family members. Oftentimes I think people don't really think of the grandparents or the aunts and uncles where children are playing in the home. Asking them, do you have a firearm? I know it's a difficult conversation, but asking if they have one and how it is stored. It's important to ask if it's stored unloaded and locked, ideally having the ammunition entirely separate from where the gun is stored is what we would love to tell parents. And if by chance that new friend has a gun that's not stored safely, perhaps invite that friend over to your house to play with your child.
When I talk to a family who has had a child injured or died from an accidental shooting, I do feel frustrated, but I also have enormous sympathy for that family and what they'll have to live with. It's something as a parent that I can't even imagine. If I could have prevented my child from being seriously injured or dying, I would do anything. And I think that parents and families really would do anything. It's so hard to have that weight of what if on your shoulders. So I'm frustrated, but I'm just absolutely devastated for those families and what they have to endure after the fact.
If you don't have a gun lock, pick one up free of charge at the Polk County Health Department and most law enforcement agencies. Then talk it up, lock it up. It's a community issue that requires a community to take action.
With all of the shootings that have been occurring across the country, there has been a lot of conversation about gun injuries and the death that they cause in youth across our country. So really in Iowa and in Polk County, we are no different than the national trend. Gun safety saves lives. Talk it up, lock it up.